everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Carrie and this is Pins and Books. So today we are going to do a book review. I figured it's an ARC book, which means it's an accelerated reader copy, I believe. I believe that's what it stands for. Don't hold me to that. So I figured why not do a video review of it because it was a good book. Even the bad ones, I mean, like, even if it was a not so good one, then I would still do a thing on it just because it is an ARC book. So let's go ahead and pop it up so we can take a good look at it. Alright, so this is the book that I read. It is a manga called the Ayakashi Hunter's Tainted Bride by Midori Yuma, and it was drawn, the art is by Maminosuke Fujimaru. I really hope that I got your names correctly. So young, cheerful Nanao can't wait to marry her betrothed Raito, the young lord of the Byakurenji family. Please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing these names, guys. But that changes one night when she is attacked by a vengeful yokai spirit, an Ayakashi, leaving her scarred with the mark of a demonic curse. Her cousin, Akemi, seizes the chance to steal away her fiancé, but it doesn't matter. Raito now finds her repulsive, and Nanao is forced to wear a monkey mask to hide her scar and live the life of an outcast. Years later, she meets Yako, the willful young scion of another noble family. That's our male protagonist. When Nanao's mask shatters after an accident, don't recall it shattering. Yako sees her face and is drawn to her beauty and great spiritual power. But there's more to the handsome young lord than meets the eye, and when Yako offers Nanao a way out of her torturous life, the new life that awaits her is filled with more mystery and intrigue than she could ever imagine. That's just the first book. So these are our two main characters. It is a fantasy romance manga. You have her, who is the Tainted Bride, and then you have him, who is the Ayakashi Hunter. And this one, for the art is absolutely beautiful. I fell in love with the artwork. It is gorgeous. So I rated the start of the book a 5 out of 5. So this is our start of the book. On that day, my heart died. Not her. She didn't die. Her heart died. So I was like, all right, got curious. So it's curiosity about who this creature is in the background, who she is, how did her heart die but she not die? I mean, there's a whole lot. There's a bunch of questions in there going on. Not only questions from the main, the title page, the cover of the book, which again, absolutely gorgeous, but who all these characters are. And in the end, so there's several things about the plot. So this is a younger version of our female protagonist, and she was engaged to be married to the head of her family. She was a branch family member, and he was he's going to be the next head of the family. They were engaged to be married. So this is the first part of this book takes place sometime before she's 15, because he keeps on saying when you're 15 we'll be wed. And so she's like in love with this guy. He gave her a hairpin. I mean, like, she's in love with him. She believes that she is in love with him. Only for him to end up turning his back on her, because due to circumstances that I will not reveal, that way you guys can enjoy it yourself, goes out beyond the barrier. Now, she has the highest dark spiritual power out of the entire family, which is why she was chosen to be the next head's wife. And like, the men have the light spiritual power, the women have the dark spiritual power. From what I can tell, there's nothing really significant about it except that they balance each other out. This is the orangutan Ayakashi, and then this is our main female protagonist. The story starts with that, you get a little bit of a backstory, and then it starts off with the head of her family, who she was going to marry, meeting with another gentleman. They're having breakfast, which is a very important meal of the day to this world, because it's prepared by the head of the family's wife, who is supposed to have the highest spiritual power, and she has to purify herself so many times in a certain way, and the higher spiritual power in the food, the better the day you're going to have. So, but in the end, he doesn't end up marrying her. He ends up marrying her cousin, who there's more to that story there that I'm really kind of like looking forward to getting. There's more to that story. So this right here is his bride. She apparently is the one who made the food. But in the end, it turns out that it wasn't her who was making the food. It was actually our protagonist here. You learn that good part of the way through the book, if not like until the very end, that she was just lying. She was not the one making all the food. You can actually see. I'm gonna show it right here. You can actually see the mark on her right here on her forehead from where the Ayakashi had marked her, which is what made her tainted. Apparently there's a very specific smell to it that they can smell. So it starts off, you meet our male protagonist by him having breakfast with the head of the family, and he's there to search for a bride. Okay. So through a series of events, he ends up meeting our female protagonist, and he ends up claiming her as his bride. Again, not going to give anything away because you have to read it for yourself. But there's a lot of scary stories about him. I mean, like, he has like these shaking monitor. He has these blood red eyes, which are more fit for the Ayakashi than for human. And again, you find out at the very end kind of some more information on that. But it's interesting. I really enjoyed the book. I'm not going to say it then because that would be a bold-faced lie. But I only rated it a 4.75 this month. So the start of it really pulled me in. Again, her heart died. Why just her heart? Why not the rest of her? So that got a 5 out of 5. My enjoyment waned kind of in the or not even in the middle, but like the beginning-ish. About a quarter of the way to the halfway point, my enjoyment kind of waned. I was just like, okay, how long until this book is down? I'm holding up my phone and I'm looking to see, okay, how many pages do I have left? Oh boy, I still have like 100 pages left. So that got a 4.75 because, again, my enjoyment waned. But once it started kind of giving you more information and stuff like that. But I think that's kind of like the curse of a beginning manga, the first book in a manga, because it not only does it have to give you history on the characters, it also has to give you, and the plot and the story, it also has to give you history on the world itself. So that could just be the first book downfall. So for the characters, I did a 4.5. They're not really depth characters yet. There's only one book, and in that book there's only like 4 small chapters. It's 209 pages, guys. There's not a lot of depth to these characters yet. They do, I mean, I'm assuming that they're going to go through a whole bunch of stuff in order to get to where they have more depth, but at the moment there's not a lot of depth to them. It looks like our villain is jealous and he wants the girl, but then you have a female, it looks like we have a female antagonist who is also jealous of our female protagonist and wants her dead or wants her gone, which is why she did what she did and why the main female protagonist got tainted. So looks like there's a couple of antagonists right there. The Ayakashi just seems to be like an overall antagonist for the entire world, not specifically for this book. And then you of course have our main protagonist. There's not a lot of depth there. She is in there, so they're essentially engaged. They're not married yet because she's just the bride. She's not his wife. So again, it's going to be interesting to kind of see how it goes. I am curious to see how it goes. I do want the others. I do want to get them. I mean, like, I will buy this book if I get the option to. Like, I will buy this book. Plot so far, again, 4.75. You're not getting too much of the plot in this one, I feel like, except for the fact that you have your female antagonist, not your main antagonist. I don't know who our main antagonist is yet. But you have your female antagonist who is gunning for the female protagonist because she's jealous. And that doesn't change at the end of the story. She's still jealous of the female protagonist. And now you also have a male antagonist who I didn't see as an antagonist until later on, when it was kind of shown that he was, who's gunning for the female protagonist, but not because he's jealous of her, because he wants her. For the style, I did a 4.5. The artwork is gorgeous. It's typical manga. I feel like maybe I've seen kind of like, maybe not this exact story, but I feel like I've seen a similar story before. So for that reason, I did not give it a 5 stars. So for that reason, it is a 4.75 instead of 5 stars. But hey, it's only 0.25 off. Highly recommend this book to anyone who enjoys manga. Again, it is a young adult romance fantasy. So this book will be releasing in March 25th, 2025. I want to thank NetGalley for giving me the opportunity to go over this book, to read this book, to enjoy it as much as I did. It is phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. Again, there were parts of it that I was like, not so great. But again, I did enjoy it. That is the important part. Midori Yuma does a fantastic, did a wonderful job creating the story. I can't wait to see how it goes. And Maminosuke Fujimaru is a brilliant artist. Absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to see more of it. I actually want to go find more books that more manga that he's done the artwork for and really see what he did. It was a webtoon. I actually, for a moment, I thought it wasn't a webtoon. It was a webtoon. It's coming to print. But the back of the thing, apparently it is Noragami meets My Happy Marriage in a mix of romance, action, and suspense that has already won legions of fans. Again, it is a webtoon. I do not know where the webtoon is. But again, the Ayakashi Hunter's Tainted Bride, 4.7 out of 5. Go read it. It is worth the time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry that it's so short, but again, this is really just a manga. Or a graphic novel, technically. I'm going to call it a manga, though. It is a manga, so it's not that long. It's only only 209 pages, but really good, really cute. You have some of the little yokai. I don't know if they call all of them Ayakashi or just the vengeful ones Ayakashi, but you have little kappa demons. Oh my god, they're just absolutely adorable, and they look like they're that big. But you get to see both sides of the Ayakashi, both sides of the demons. So you get to see the vengeful side, which they're fighting, and you get to see the good ones actually serving one of the families, and it is just it's cute. Okay, again, there was a part in there that my interest waned, but other than that, really good. Totally recommend it. March 25th, 2025 is when the book comes out. So go to your local bookstore, go to Amazon, pre-order, find it. I'll see you guys next time. Happy reading.